Welcome to the latest Lighter Home video. In this video we're going to talk about changing the frequency of a ceiling fan remote control. Pretty much all ceiling fans nowadays come with the remote control, and at Lighter Home we deal with Fantasia ceiling fans and we deal with Eurofans. Most of each of those manufacturers provide a remote control for their ceiling fans, and from time to time it can be prudent to change the frequency of the remote control. Sometimes we get the occasional call where a ceiling fan may have come on in the night by itself mysteriously or turned off, vice versa obviously, and in that instance it's usually something in the local area has been turned on that's new, that's interacting with the frequency. There is no infrared anymore with remote controls for ceiling fans. It's all wireless signals sent back and forth between the remote control handset and the remote control receiver unit, which is usually in the fan itself. And if you mess around with the frequency, if something new turns on in the area that's very similar frequency wise, it can have a bearing on your ceiling fan. The first thing to try in this instance is to change the frequency. Now, you can certainly do this on Fantasia fans, and you can certainly do it on Eurofans fans. If you don't have that brand, it doesn't mean you can't do it. You may well find these instructions I'm going to show you in a moment will work on your fan as well. But the first way to check is to take your remote control handset. Now this is your stereotypical Fantasia remote control handset with all the buttons on it. If I remove the battery compartment lid off the back, you can see there a little set of 4 switches. Very small ones, they're called dip switches. Now basically all 4 of those switches are set in the up position. That tells you that your fan runs off of that frequency, and it means you can adjust it as well. That's how you'll tell. If you haven't got a Fantasia or Eurofans, just see if you've got a little set of switches somewhere, probably in the battery compartment of your ceiling fan remote control, because in the actual fan itself will be that, or something very similar to that. That is the receiver unit of the remote control. Now that's usually hidden, usually in the top of the ceiling fan. So with that cover up there, covering up the attachment to the ceiling, you'd find that hidden in there, wired in. Usually electrics for your home come into that, come out of it into the fan. Sometimes that can be actually in the loft. Electricians sometimes fit it that way, so it's separate away from the actual fan itself. But either way, if we have a look at this one, there is a little window there on the side of it, and it's got the same 4 switches, and you will find that the switches will be in the same position as those on the handset. You can have a quick look on a Eurofans remote control handset like that, just a different design, same principle as the Fantasia one. On the back, under the battery compartment, up in the corner here, hidden, 4 switches, and they will be in the same position as well, provided as long as those switches on the handset are the same as on the receiver unit, it's working off the same frequency. So if you have a look and you find that all 4 switches are in the up position, change them all down. Change them all down on the receiver unit as well. You'll have to, you can actually amend that, adjust that with it still on the fan. You don't have to take the receiver unit out of the fan. Obviously ensure you turn the power off, make sure everything's safe. Leave the fan for an hour as well after turning the power off. You can undo a couple of screws and drop that cover down the drop rod, and you'll be able to see that that'll be exposed, and you'll be able to change that while it's still fitted into the fan. So change it to a position, change a couple of them, maybe change 2 up, 2 down, and then amend it on the actual handset as well. Match them up and try it. Turn the power back on, put the lids back on to the battery compartments, give it a go. If it doesn't work, change the actual frequency again, change it to a different setting. You could leave, if it works, leave it for 24 hours, see if it comes on in the night, see if whatever in the local area. There are lots of things in your local area that can have a bearing upon the frequency of your remote control ceiling fan. So just trial and error really, test it. If there's a fault with the fan, often it can be the actual receiver unit failing. Ordinarily it's the first thing that will go. And if you've bought a Fantasia or a Eurofans fan, you'll be able to get replacement receiver units. It's the advantage of buying off of a manufacturer that only specialises in ceiling fans. Your DIY store fans, you probably won't get parts like that, but the specialist retailers like Fantasia and Eurofans will provide this kind of thing. So if they send you a replacement receiver unit which needs fitting, you're going to have to make sure, just a little check to make sure those switches match the switches on your handset. So just check it out, have a little look. It is very simple. It sounds like it should be a difficult job, but it's really not. It's just literally a case of changing the positions of those little switches. As I say, other brands of ceiling fan I can't speak of because we only deal in Fantasia and Euro fans, but the chances are it'll be the same kind of process. So start by looking at your handset, taking the battery cover off, look for a little set of switches, little micro ones. You might even have to use a little screwdriver just to change the positions of them, but it's not hard. And then do it on the matching receiver unit on the fan, and it should change it all for you and work properly. If you need any more advice, you can always give us a call at Lighter Home. Our telephone number is 024 7671 7043, or you can visit our Facebook page, details below. If this video has been useful, please like it for us and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.